Well, good afternoon my YouTube friends, it's Margaret here and I'm just in the grow room. We've got some lovely sunshine today. It's given quite a cold weekend. So what do you do when it's a cold weekend? You can't go outside. There's not much to do outside, so I come upstairs into the orchid room and I bring a couple of plants up from downstairs just so I can clean the leaves. And this is the well, we all call them here Christmas cactus. Some of our YouTube friends call them Thanksgiving cactus. But this is one that absolutely was in full bloom just before we went on holiday. So that was in November. And when we came back, most of the flowers had dropped. So I just fed her. Just with orchid feed. Just bear with me a minute while I think about that. It might have been, I might have given her some calcium feed actually. And blow me down, look what she's done. She sent out all new buds. Okay, some of them are not going to be viable, some of them are debatable. I think that one might survive, but some of them, they're a little bit like orchids, you know, if you not careful and you move them when they're in the bud stage, you know, they can actually blast. So you've got to be very, very careful that they don't blast on you. And anyway, she's just, she's in this holy pot. Not that she needs to be in a holy pot, it's just at the time it was a spare pot, so I just bobbed her in there. Anyway, I'll just bob her down on the floor now, but she's had her all her leaves washed this morning, and I've titivated over with the paintbrush as well, just to get any of the dust a little bit down here. They do really appreciate having the leaves cleaned. So just bear with me a minute now, I'll put her down. And then what I'm trying to be careful of course, is that I don't knock any of her buds off. And that's the baby one. Do you remember that one? That's a piece off the one I've just shown you. And this had got one flower on. Anyway, this has produced two flowers. And it's really bone dry now, this is. And all I do is just give them some rainwater feed. And this one's fine as well. And let me just pick this other one up for you now. This is what I just wanted to ask. See this little thing here? It's, let me just have a look now. It's a little succulent I got from the little garden centre. And when I got her, she was only in a little 1-inch pot, I think. And when I was repotting into this little terracotta pot here, I accidentally got a leaf trapped. And can you see where it's just cracked? But half of it actually has healed over, that part here. She's just left with that little crack here. I've no idea what it is. It's a no ID. A little succulent, I just call it my little Dracula. Because it just has these little airy little areas all the way around here. And then the older ones just go darker. Let me just turn around for you. And she sent out these little, let me do this other end. She sent out these little florets, which I'm really chuffed about. Oh, she sent them out. She sent them out all round. So if anybody's any idea what this is, I mean, I only paid £1.99, which is absolutely dirt cheap, and she loves it. She sits downstairs on the in the living room windowsill, which has got the drapes on, and so she gets the full sun, and is absolutely loving it. So let me put that one back now, and let me just lift this other. Now I have to be careful now because, excuse me, just showing you a blank screen. Now, of course, you know I had the problem of scale, and I tell you, you've got to be so ever vigilant. And I'm always checking And let me just see if I can take you in, if I've got the right place. Now just hold on. I don't know how far that will allow me to go in. Let me just see whether it'll allow me to go in with the binoculars. Binoculars. I tell you, my great brain needs to get into gear. I meant the magnifying glass, of course. But let me just see if I've got the right one. See, I could zoom in with the camera, but if I zoom in, sometimes it distorts it. But just in there, can you just see now where my thumbnail is? I'm just gonna, yeah, that's it, just tucked in there now. There's a little bit of cluster there of something. And where else did I notice? Just hold on, let me just see if I can, hold on. Just hold on, bear with me a minute. It's down here somewhere because I've seen it. And the sun's just gone in now, so let me just find it. Just bear with me. Oh, I'm going to have to really take you in now and see if I can poke my way through these leaves. And let's see whether or not I can take you down here. See, the thing is, I'm fighting with the leaves. Just hold on. Get this leaf back here without damaging it. Let me just see if I can take you down now. Just see if I can actually point you to it. There. Can you see it now? That little thing there. Now I don't know whether that's a little bit fluffy. It's only minute, but it's there, isn't it? And can you see the vicinity of, oh, come out, the vicinity of that leaf there to just down there, tucked in down there, there. So to me now, I think I need to do another treatment. I've been checking them all, and I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that I've got an infestation back, but I've got something. And this one's been so healthy since I've given it the treatment that I don't want to jeopardise any future development. Let me just have a look at that, because like I say, sometimes you can be completely paranoid and you just think, oh well, it's nothing. But I tell you what, if you think it's nothing and you're complacent, well then a few weeks down the line you might have a complete infestation, and by then the damn things have moved on to another plant. So always be vigilant. Now I'm going to get one of the other plants down, and I've checked them and I can't see anything on a lot of my cattleyas, and I think the infestation came in through the cattleyas. But I'll take this big one down and I'll just show you. Again, you'll have to bear with me because I'm in the confines of the little room. I've got the orchid on the, that's the pencil in the mouth, sorry about that. I've got the orchid on the shelf here, which I'm not wanting to knock over. But I wanted to bring this big one down for you. And this is the big one, if you remember, that had got the wonderful root system. And is the, what is it? Let's have a look for you. Pastoral Innocence. And you remember this one, I had to give her the bleach treatment, I think twice, and then I had no alternative but she had to have the systemic treatment, and really I nearly virtually wiped out the roots. And as you can see, she has responded. Now let me just have a look, because this one faces inwards. Now let me just show you if I can get in here again. And it's not always easy because you know, some of these, sorry about that. Let me just see, because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get in there to show you and also to see myself as well. Now that there, I'm going to use this little paintbrush, that there looks as though, there, I can't tell at this moment in time whether it's going to be a new growth, but whatever it is, can you see above? Can you see that ring there? Or that ring there? That's bugs. And let me just check round here. Check round the others down here. I mean, you might not think I need to worry. And at this stage I don't need to worry. Excuse me, just I've got it trapped up there now. I don't need to worry, but these scale, hide, and they come down into these areas here. They also, of course, come into the pseudobulbs there, and where there's crevices. But just checking everything now. And then we'll look what that is. You see this area here, where this new growth, but I don't think it will be a new growth. This part here. But you see, what happens is, they have a little area at the top here, which is the growing tip. And if you're not careful, that's where the infestation lurks. So you've got another little area here. That might be an aborted one. And I mean, I've checked the back of the leaves and she's absolutely fine. There's nothing there. And she is growing. Excuse me, turning around like that. She is growing, you can see those roots. And she sent the roots down there. But what I've got to do now, see, she's got, you see this area here where this sheath is covering this pseudobulb here. If there's any, that's where they're likely to be. So, I tell you, I'm like I'm like an hawk. I can spot these things a mile off. So they're not getting the better of me this year. Anyway, she's looking a little bit more greener. So that that feed with the calcium has helped. She is in high light because she sits there, which faces that south window. And so that's those two now that I'm going to probably just do a little light systemic treatment on it. And then I'll do enough just to check over some of the others. But these are the only two at the moment that I have any worry about. So now if you bear with me a minute now, I'm going to try and put her back on the shelf. And I have to be careful because she's so big. And don't forget, I have to position her so that she doesn't enable the crawlies to to move on to other plants. And last but not least, excuse me, I'm still bending down, if you want to bear with me a minute, is, there we go. Let me just show you. Now I have to be careful with this one, because see how tall she is. And this is my Dendrobium thiciforum, and just checking her over today. Don't know whether you can see that little, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that could be the start of a growth in the spring, but this is where they come from. Now this is an older cane, but it doesn't matter, apparently they can still flower from an older cane. And now where else did I see them? Just hold on, because I've been checking this one, and let's just move around, see if I can find any more of these little areas. I'm sure I found 2 or 3, you know. Oh, there we go, there. There's another one there. Can you see that one there? There's another one. Now that's on a cane that's already flowered, and it's still got 1 leaf. And this is this one here. That's the new cane that it sent up this year. And let me just have a look. I thought there was kind of a swelling there. Now whether or not that's going to actually flower this year, I have no idea, but it's wonderful, this plant is, when it does flower. There's another one, you see, can you just see there? Or is that the one I've just shown you? And let's take you to this big one here. This is a big thick cane, and look, she's got one there. Now these might not be viable, these might just be dried up. But apparently they're still capable of sending out flowers. This big one, this big cane here, and I know it's got its terminal leaf, but there's still 2 leaves which are very good. And if we go down this cane here, you've got that one there. Can you see that one there? She's got a swelling there, and she's actually got a swelling there. And she's got that one there. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed this year, because this usually flowers for me, and it's so spectacular, and the perfume is gorgeous. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Now this one sits in our bedroom window, and it's on its winter rest. It does get a slight tepid little bit of water now and again, but not very often. Probably once since we've come back, and that's been a month. And there we go. So she'll go back on the windowsill now, and let me just, if I can, let me just show you. I have to be very careful when I want to try and manoeuvre around in this room, because it's oh, bear with me a minute. I'm usually organised, but today I'm not very organised today, and I don't know whether you can see that, because we've got full sun now. And if I can try and just manoeuvre in here, do you see those buds? And that's just on that ordinary supermarket Dendrobium nobile, which is a white one. And I don't know whether you're going to see now. And that's the other one. You won't see it because these other leaves are in the way, and I don't want to knock her. I do apologise about that. So there we go. There's those two little ones that are on that bamboo piece of wood. These are the two dendrobiums that are polyanthum that I've mounted, and I keep just checking those canes also to see whether there's any swellings, but so far there isn't, but they're still looking fine. And just bear with me. And this is of course the Comet King that usually flowers every year, and I'm just checking on there whether that's got anything coming, but I'm fighting against the sun here. Anyway, just checking round and zooming round everything. That's of course the Kingianum. I'm always checking those as well. And then, of course they're the frags. They're the frags. Oh, let me just sit down over here. Oh, I've got this other dendrobium poking me here. Let's just take this one out of the way again and just bob it down here. So you've got to be careful when you bob them down because they've got such active roots. Do you remember I got one of these Phragmipediums in a pot, in a terracotta pot? So what I've done, and this is Andretti by Hartwiggy, and I don't know whether I'll get it out of here. Probably not. I better not just do it while I'm on camera. But I've repotted that into this plastic pot here, and oh sorry, I wobbled then, and she's in this lattice type container, and I think she's really appreciating that. I did notice the roots in the terracotta part hadn't actually made the way down, and I need them to have enough moisture to go down into that pot. So I'm really chuffed about that one. And the other one, if you just bear with me a minute, and I'll take her out of this outer container there and just put her on here. Now if you remember, this is the smallest of them, and this is Phragmipedium Mary Bess, and it's, oh dear, Mary Bess by Caracinum, and she was only in a small pot, which fine, there was no problem with that small pot. Before she comes into active growth, I wanted a deeper pot for her, and because you can see already, can you see the roots? And she can now travel down in there, and I won't have to repot her this year at all, so I'm quite chuffed about that. And then eventually, let's put her back over there, she just sits in that thing there, and then eventually when these two get big enough, they will be transferred over into pots like this, and they're actually coming on great guns, they are. Everything's looking a little bit dusty, that's why I'm coming upstairs and just checking them over, and you get your paintbrush like this and just get in there. Like I say, you shouldn't be doing it, you should move these other plants out of the way because you're only flicking dust from one plant to another, which we don't want to do. So it's just a short clip today, and I was just, like I say, exploring the orchids to make sure that I've got no bugs. And can you see over there now that little mini phalaenopsis. Still growing. And let's just zoom round. That's still sending the dime back. So otherwise, from me to you, enjoy your weekend and we'll speak again soon. Bye now.